Hey, what's up, YouTube? My name is Apexx, and today I'm going to be playing some Red Orchestra 2, otherwise known as Rising Storm. This game is a game that I've actually had for a long time on Steam, and I never really gave it its fair shake. I kind of played the game once and didn't know what I was doing, didn't know anything about the maps, didn't know anything about the play style of the game, and I just kind of put it back on the uninstall list and hadn't played it since because it was frankly really hard when you first start out. Because this is such a hardcore shooter. There is, no heads-up display. There are one-shot kills, and depending on what servers you play on, there's not even a way to tell if it's your teammate other than the suit that they're wearing. So it's very realistic in that way. And also, it's even if you do get shot once and you somehow survive, then you only have a few seconds to actually bandage yourself up and go on fighting. But that's actually one of the things that gets a little buggy in this game. This game is really fun, don't get me wrong, but there are definitely still some bugs to work out. Some of the stuff I've noticed is when you're moving, sometimes you might get some glitchy running. You might like jump a few steps ahead or a few steps back. Not exactly rubber banding as much as it is just kind of like a strange movement. Like it just picked up your movement a second late or a second early. Other bugs might be you're trying to heal yourself. You have to press left control to bandage yourself up. And when you go to bandage yourself up, I'll spam left control and nothing happens. It won't let you bandage. But it's just a few minor annoyances here and there. Otherwise, this game is really fun. It doesn't compare bugs-wise to games like Battlefield 4 and even Battlefield 3 back in the day, because it's got a fantastic netcode as far as I can tell. I mean, whenever I hit somebody, I see them go down, and I don't ever see anybody dying behind walls or even seeing myself get killed behind an object that is not able to be shot through. So netcode-wise, it's really well done. It's on the Unreal Engine, which gives you pretty darn good graphics, and it's a pretty smooth game. It runs at a reasonably high frame rate on my setup, and the gunplay is fantastic in this game. It's got extremely realistic recoil. Like the recoil in this game, if you're using a machine gun, I mean, you really have to burst fire if you want to be able to see anything in front of you. That including that as well as the muzzle flare on these guns. I mean, it's really hard to see in front of you if you're using one of the heavy MGs. Even actually the pistols in this game. You fire around in the pistol, and man, is that one heavy shot. You can feel that shot when you take it. It's very hard to keep your iron sights on target with the pistols in this game. But one of the things I love about this game is generally I play rifleman or sniper. Now, the rifleman is what you're seeing right now. This is using the Mosin Nagant, and this is a bolt-action rifle back in World War II that, when a scope was added to it, could be used as a sniper because it was extremely accurate, and is still today, even the ones that are from the World War II era are extremely accurate. It's a really beloved gun from World War II, and this is probably my favorite gun in the game right now. I usually play that sniper long-range role just because that's my playstyle in most games. And also, I find it very difficult in this game to actually play the machine gunner classes or the squad leader classes as well, because, like I said before, the recoil on those guns are pretty darn ridiculous. So the close quarters combat in this game is extremely adrenaline pumped. I guess I could say, it's extremely hectic, and it's a slower paced game because it's more realistic. But when you are in those close quarter scenarios, it speeds up pretty darn quick. But when it comes to the snipers in this game, it is fantastic. I mean, when you're aiming down sight and you see when you hit somebody, you see a little burst of blood. It's a pretty satisfying feeling in this game because it is pretty hard to hit people at long range. Also, it's kind of cool because there's no real way to tell if you killed somebody except for this thing that will pop up and tell you probably like 4 to 5 seconds after you actually killed them, or it's also because they might be bleeding out on the ground. So you just kind of have to take the shot and wait, 4 or 5 seconds before you get any feedback from the game. So it's kind of a cool feeling because you're not getting this instant feedback from like an arcade type shooter. you're taking the shot, and just like in real life, you're not actually positive, like 100% sure that you killed the guy, so he could still be a threat. Also, the sniping in this game, the sniping with an actual scope is pretty cool. If you're not going to see any in this one here, but with the scope, it's kind of cool because they kind of do the COD Ghosts style of scope. Now, I don't play COD Ghost, don't care for it, but that was one thing I really did like, was the fact that it actually looks like you're looking down a scope rather than you are, like, everything blacks out around the scope. You can still see what's going on, but it's kind of like a depth of field blur, so you can see, you can kind of have your peripheral vision, but you're focused down the scope. It gives another realistic feel. It's these tiny things that really add up in the long run, and it is very hard to counter a sniper, especially in realistic mode, because it's not like Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 where you get this, ridiculous scope glare that is like, as large as the sun. In this game, there's no bullet trail, there is no scope glare. It's basically entirely you having to figure out where you're getting shot from by where the bullets are hitting on the obstacles around you, as well as possibly spotting muzzle flash. But other than that, this game, I mean, it really is hard to counter a sniper in this game, and they really, it's more realistic in this game because it kind of actually gives the sniper the strength that it should have, just like in real life. In real life, a sniper is a force multiplier, just like in this game. So the clip you guys are seeing right now is a perfect illustration of how powerful a sniper is in Rising Storm. As long as you're able to move in and out of cover, and you know when to take a shot and when not to take a shot, you can basically survive as long as you possibly want. Now, this right now really made me feel a lot like the sniper in Saving Private Ryan, where he's sitting up in the clock tower and just picking enemies off one by one. It's a really cool feeling when you get a good kill streak going and you really find a good spot. Because in this game, camping is a very legitimate tactic and is something that you actually have to get used to using more often, because there's really no run and gun in this game unless you get some sort of extremely lucky flank behind an enemy. And the sniping in this game is much more realistic. It's not like Battlefield, where Battlefield basically indirectly nerfs the class by making it so easy to spot people and find people, through the mini-map or through scope glare or through bullet trails. I mean, they basically completely made the recon class less useful than any of the other classes, which is definitely not the route they took in Rising Storm. So that's about all for this one, guys. I want to actually ask you if you like this style of video, of me basically just talking off the top of my head and giving my opinions on a game. But go ahead and leave those comments in the section below. And I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.